This video shows the resurfacing of a high-volume solid waste transfer station. Hi, this is Bob Swan with HD Heavy Duty Concrete Floors. Let's get started. The contractor who did the work is American Restore out of Huntington Beach, California, and the product used was EucoFloor 404. Additional information about the contractor and the product can be found at the end of this video. The Del Norte facility is part recycling center, part transfer station. It's located in the city of Oxnard, California, and is part of the city's Environmental Resources Division. Oxnard is located about 60 miles west of Los Angeles. EucoFloor 404 was used to resurface part of this floor around 2011. Management was very happy with the performance and now wanted to resurface additional areas. Later in this video, you'll see that placement of 404 is only worn about halfway through the original thickness. That's over a period of a decade, moving 1,500 tons of MSW a day. This facility handles a lot of recyclable materials. In 2018, the floor in this area of the facility needed to be resurfaced. American Restore installed EucoFloor 404. The green arrows point out where that material was placed. Here are a couple of photos from that installation from 2018. The 404 has hardly worn at all in the last 3 years. The total project was just over 13,000 square feet. Since EucoFloor 404 will allow the floor to be put back into service within 48 hours of placement, half of the floor was done on Friday and Saturday, with that portion returned to service on Monday. The second half was returned to service on Wednesday. For most floors, the base concrete is structurally sound so the overlay can go right on top, but the surface still needs to have any weak or contaminated concrete removed. The contractor does that with a combination of shot blast equipment and scarifiers. Shot blasting throws metal shot at the concrete surface at a high velocity, and a vacuuming system pulls the pulverized shot and any weak concrete into a collection bin. In addition to shot blasting, scarifiers were used to remove additional contaminated concrete as well as any remaining old toppings that may not have been well bonded. Finally, all loose material is blown off, leaving the surface clean and porous so the epoxy bonding agent will give the topping a secure bond. Around the perimeter of the floor, you can see some remnants of an old metallic topping that was placed a couple of decades ago. The bonding system that we use will keep 404 securely bonded to both the concrete substrate or any previous well-bonded toppings. To secure the topping around the perimeter of the overlay area, a keyway is established. The keyway is made so the edge of the topping is at the same elevation as the surrounding floor. In general, the depth of the key is equal to the overall thickness of the topping. At the port edge, the topping is usually placed at a higher elevation so that any steel at the edge will be protected. The pipe rails will be used as screed bars to keep the topping thickness uniform during material placement. Because of high wear in front of the port edges, it's not unusual for the topping thickness to be twice the depth used further back. Sometimes the contractor will use a cutter head mounted on a bobcat to cut the keyway. We have found this approach to work well and to be significantly faster than using chipping hammers. Either approach gives a smooth transition at the topping termination point. At the same time, gives us a very secure bond. After the floor is prepped, it's time to apply the bonding agent. We use a two-part epoxy to bond the overlay, as we feel this is the most secure way to make sure the topping stays in place and is well bonded to the substrate. The epoxy we use is pre-measured, so there is less opportunity for mixing error. The keyway is given special attention. The epoxy is hand applied with brushes to minimize puddling and to make sure the entire profiled surface is well coated. Normal application calls for pouring the epoxy out onto the floor and then to use a squeegee to get it in place. It's then back rolled to assure uniformity. While the epoxy is still wet, coarse, dry sand is broadcast into it to the point of saturation. After the epoxy has cured, typically overnight, the excess unbonded sand is removed and the floor surface is ready to receive the topping. EucoFloor 404 is delivered on site in 3,000-pound bulk bags. To mix the material, a reach lift is used to pick up the bag and extend it over the hopper of a ready-mix truck. The bottom of the bag is slit, and after mixing for several minutes, 404 is ready to be discharged onto the floor. American Restore is part of a network of contractors nationwide who install tipping floor overlays in solid waste transfer stations, and they're the contractor doing this placement. They started doing the surface prep on Friday afternoon, and Monday morning the floor was put back into service. Euclid Chemical developed EucoFloor 404 as a concrete repair overlay specifically for the solid waste industry, and it is the highest durability topping on the market. We can back up that statement with references, independent lab reports, and the best warranty in the industry. "404 gets a compressive strength over 10,000 psi in 3 days, and well over 15,000 psi at 28 days. The other half of the project was done over the next couple of days. Total downtime was 5 days to do over 13,000 square feet, and the facility never stopped processing during the repair. When we got the test results back, it showed 3-day strengths over 13,000 psi, and the 28-day numbers came in over 18,000 psi. The contractor who did the work was American Restore. The product used was EucoFloor 404. More information about American Restore can be found on their website, and more information about the product can be found at EucoFloor404.com. I'm Bob Swan with HD Heavy Duty Concrete Floors. I work with owners and engineers to improve the performance of their concrete floors, especially tipping floors in transfer stations and processing floors in material recycling facilities and anaerobic digesters. Thanks for watching this video.